everyone in this meeting, biometrics. So this meeting we will learn all about biometric identification, how the government uses technology to identify, to verify the persons, the identity. So the governments have traditionally authenticated citizens' identity through issuing passports, through issuing driving licenses, and other so-called identity documents. So this is in the past. This is the identity of a person or a citizen. It is either his passport or driving licenses. This is called identity documents. Some document to prove that you are the right person. But what is biometric now? The most developed technology for verification and identification is the biometrics. So the biometrics will use the biometric data. What is the biometric data? The biometric data is derived from distinctive body features. We will use your body, your eyes, your finger, your face. So we will use some of your body features, to identify the citizen. So biometric data examples are fingerprints, photographs, face, it means iris recognition, which relies on distinctive patterns in the colored part of the eye. You cannot see the screen. I shared the screen with you. Did you see the screen? Is it clear, the screen? It's okay now? Okay. This is because of some bad connection. So this is the examples of the features that we can use to identify or to verify if you are the right person or not. So we can use the fingerprints, the photographs, the iris recognition, and the DNA. The DNA is widely used, but mostly in criminal investigations. When there are some crimes, you need to some investigations on these crimes. So the DNA can be used. So this is the data, biometric data. The biometric data can be what? Can be the fingerprints, can be the face or the photographs, can be the eyes, it can be the DNA. So biometrics data also covers data derived from characteristic behaviors or gestures. For example, the signatures, the vocal characteristics. It can be covered from characteristic behaviors, not only from the bodily features. So covering biometric data to original from results in digital biometric data. So this is how you can now identify or verify. So you can see here that it can be for identification or for verification. We have two purposes for this biometrics. So we need to convert now your biometric data, your fingerprint, your iris recognition, your photograph into digital. What does it mean here, digital? So this photograph or this fingerprint or whatever, it will be converted to 0 and 1. A sequence of 0 and 1. For example. So where to use biometric data now? It can be used, okay, like the passports, the driving licenses, okay, and other identity documents. And the digital biometric data is stored on a chip embedded in these documents, okay? You can see that at some part of your driving license or your identity, okay, document card, you can see that you have some very small chip, okay, embedded, okay. You cannot use it or okay, touch it, okay. It is embedded, okay. Once you try to play or to have some changes at this chip, okay, your identity or your document will be, okay, cancelled. It is not, you cannot use it for verification or for identification, okay. So with biometric data in original form, okay, comparison of data becomes a mathematical operation that can be computerized rather than requiring human involvement and checking, okay. So you can see now the difference, okay, when you can use this digital biometric. In the past, the police man, for example, or the whatever, okay, his role, okay, will take from you your identity, your document, and to check, okay, if you are the right person in the data identity or not, okay. But now with this technology, with this biometric, digital biometric data, okay, this data will be converted to digital biometric data and will be, and for verification or for comparison, we need some mathematical operation, just it, okay, that can be computerized. We can use, we don't need to use the human involvement or the human checking. Just you give your identity to the required man, okay, or woman. Just it will pass your identity through a specific instrument, okay, and he will know if you are the right person or not, okay. So it will be, now it is computerized, okay. It cannot involve the human, okay. It is more advanced. So this is a distant change from older methods of identification, which depended on a good deal of a human expectation, okay. It depends on the visual expectation of fingerprints, for example, okay. So, okay, so did you get it? Is it clear how the methods of identification has been changed, has been developed, okay, from the past to now, okay? So from the past, it depends on the human. It depends on the human involvement and checking, okay, on the visual expectation of fingerprints. Now, it is just a mathematical operation that can be computerized, okay? That can be, okay, okay, automatic without the human involvement. So for an identification system based on data comparison to work, okay, there must be authoritative samples of data from known individuals to compare with, okay, and this is the bank of fingerprints held by the police. Okay, is it clear? Are you with me? Okay, so for identification now, okay, we don't, okay, need for the human involvement, for the human checking, okay, just the police will get some samples, okay, from your biometric data and store these samples, okay, in a bank called, for example, bank of fingerprints, okay, and held by the police, okay, so no anyone can have access to this data, okay. And once you need to be identified, okay, so the right region, okay, will identify you, okay, and will compare your identity, your document, your fingerprints with the bank, okay, with the samples that are stored in the bank, okay? Okay, is it clear right now? Clear? Is it clear? Okay, this is Sadia. What about the others? Ahad, Saif, Ibrahim, Ahmed. Okay, Zainab. Okay, so let's have a look now at this example. So look, this is some data for identification. This is the patterns, the samples, okay? So in the first figure, you have the iris patterns, okay? The eyes print, okay? It's called the iris patterns, okay? For eyes, okay? And in figure 3, you have the fingerprint, okay? So figure 2, okay, you have some photograph here, okay? So we need to compare, we need to compare the biometric data, okay? So this is the person, this person needed to be identified, okay? So there are some samples, okay, in the bank of this bank of fingerprints or whatever the name of this bank, okay, held by the police. So all, okay, they will take from her some biometric data, and this biometric data will be checked, okay, with the bank. So what are the advantages of this type of identification or verification? Do you see that using the biometric data is good? It is good, a good idea or not? Tell me. I am sorry for that, Yasin. Muhammad, I don't know yani, what can I do for you? Just try to follow us, okay? So what are the advantages for these identification methods, okay? So now, as advantages for these identification methods using the biometric data, okay? So it will be unique. It will be hard to steal, okay? I cannot have your fingerprint with me and go to the bank, okay, to steal your money, okay? So it is hard to steal, and it is unique for the person. So everyone's have his or her biometric data, okay? Whereas non-biometric data sometimes cannot be guaranteed to be unique. Your signature, your what, I don't know, your face, okay, some photograph, okay, but with the fingerprints, with the iris patterns, okay, it will be unique, okay, it will be harder to steal. But as disadvantages of this biometric data, the only disadvantages for this any good technology is to difficulty of restoring security once it has been breached, okay? Once there are someone that can have a fingerprint that's similar to you, okay, or that have that has some fingerprint, okay, yours, okay, so you cannot change your biometric data, okay? So you cannot replace your fingerprint if it is copied. If there are someone that copied your fingerprints by any tools, okay, you cannot change it, okay? It is not like the password. Once, okay, your password are broken, okay, you can change your password. Here, no, you cannot change your identification biometric data, okay? So this is the only disadvantage of biometric data. Once there are someone that okay, that have your fingerprint, okay, you cannot replace, you cannot change it by another one. Okay, so now there are two specimens okay, samples of data from the same persons that are hardly ever identical, okay? There are some samples of the same person, okay, that are hardly ever identical. For example, different signatures of the same person, okay? So this, in this, okay, in this case, okay, we have some, okay, problem or issue to identify the right person. So components now of identification systems. These identification systems, okay, will hold the authentic data known to be associated uniquely with a particular individual, okay? So each citizen will have some data, okay? For example, the fingerprint and the iris pattern, the other, etc. Okay, and reliable methods for comparing pieces of data. Okay, so this is the components of an identification system. You will have some database, okay, or data sets in which you can store all the samples, okay. And you need for reliable methods. What does it mean, reliable methods? Reliable. What does it mean here, reliable methods? Method that you can rely on, okay? يعني تقدر تعتمد عليها for comparison pieces of data, okay? So the error, okay, will be very يعني narrow, okay, very small, okay. يعني the percentage of error, okay, in identification will be very small number, very small percentage, okay. Is it clear? Clear or not? Are you with me? Okay, so this is the components of the identification system. What are the components? Here, the components are the identifications of the identification system is the database or data sets of all citizens, for example, and their biometrics data, and reliable methods to compare the pieces of data. Okay, so identification systems, there are two schemes which have been used at the time of writing, will be discussed. Okay, so there are two schemes. Okay, we have the iris recognition system. Okay, at the Heathrow airport in the UK, we have this iris recognition. So the biometric data acquired during enrollment is stored as a template in a database of enrolled users. Okay, so you will have some users, okay, some template, okay, and some database of these enrolled users. The template is not a digital photograph of the eye, but a digital representation of data from the iris scan. Okay, you will have some iris scan. Okay, and this is the data. Okay, the digital data, the digital representation of this iris scan will be stored in this database. Okay, so eye color, separation of eyes, and diameter of iris are recorded in a file. All these, okay, features of the eyes will be recorded, will be saved, okay, in this database. So the template has a size of 256 bytes, okay. You can, okay, take 256 bytes for every iris scan, okay, in which you will store all the about the color, the separation of eye, the diameter, okay, etc. Okay. So enrollment in the Heathrow scheme involved taking a scan. In first, you will take a scan from the applicant and entering it into the database. After that, checking whether this person's scan matched any of the templates already in the database. Okay, so why made the applicants can have matched a template already in the database? What does it mean here? If this template, okay, if this scan of his eyes, okay, there are some similarity, okay, some like his pattern in the database. So the applicant scan was similar enough to someone else's template. So this is where you have some matching, okay? Or the applicant was trying to enroll a second time and match their already existing template, okay? So we have two cases. Either if he already tried to enroll and there are some, okay, and he took already a scan, okay, before, and this scan is saved on the database. So on the next time that he would like to enroll, okay, the system will take a scan, okay, and there are some matching with someone which is the right person, okay, or there are some similarity between this person and another one, okay. So this is one he can match, okay. The other system in the United Arab Emirates, okay. So these scans are checked against templates for a watch list held on a central database, okay. So in the Heathrow experimental system, a match with the template meant that the travel could proceed, whereas in the Emirates system, a match means that the travel could not proceed, okay, could not go, okay. So this is the difference. Here we have the difference between the systems, okay. So in the UK, okay, you will have some check, okay, if he is matched, okay. So there will be he could proceed, okay, whereas in the United States he could not proceed, okay. So this is the difference, okay, between the United Arab Emirates and the UK systems. Okay, so now the difference is sometimes expressed in terms of positive identification or negative identification. So now, because we have some comparison between samples and already a database, okay, so we can have a positive identification. It means that it is a check on whether someone is member of a particular set of people, okay. So you have this database. In this database you have some persons, okay. So you need to check if this person, okay, is a member of this particular set of people or not. It is called the positive identification. The negative identification now is a check on whether someone is not a member of a set of people, okay. So here we will compare if this person is already a member. Now this is the positive identification, okay. But for the negative identification, I will compare if this person is not a member, okay, is not a member on this dataset or database, okay. So the problem here, ideally one person's biometric data would never be mistaken for another's, and one person's biometric data would always match another sample from the same person. So such perfection cannot be achieved in practice, okay. In reality, okay, we cannot have two persons with the same biometric data, okay. Is it clear or not? Are you agree? Are there any two persons that have the same fingerprint, that have the same iris, eyes, okay? No, of course. But for these methods, okay, for these computerized methods, we can have this type of errors, okay? So the solution is to look for a certain level of similarity rather than the exact sameness, okay? I cannot have 100%, okay, similarity, okay, between two simples, okay, or between the two persons, but I have some level of similarity, okay? So look here, the false matches and the false non-matches, okay? So look here, what does it mean here, a false match? A false match is when two pieces of biometric data from different people are judged to be from the same person, okay? This, look, this person, okay, is identified as this one, but it is not true because it is different person, okay? So this is called false match. So this type of error is sometimes called false accept, okay? So this person will be accepted while it is not allowed, okay? Because her, for example, patterns or patterns or fingers, okay? It is not stored or not saved. So it results from a comparison that is too tolerant. What does it mean tolerant? Here, when we have this false match, we have this false match when the system, when your system is too tolerant, okay? So too tolerant, it means that it will accept, okay, method that will accept, it is not very strict, okay, in identification, okay? So it will accept some errors. This because it will not be very restrictive, very restrictive in comparison. So there will be some false match, okay? But we have the other case. It is the false non-match. Is when two pieces of biometric data from the same person are judged to be from different person. So this person wishes to be identified, and the message of no, it is different from the already sample stored in the database will be shown, okay? So this is the false non-match. And when we can have this type of false, it is when you have some systems that are too intolerant, that are very restrictive, where you have a very restrictions, okay, on selection, on comparison. So you will have some this type of error, okay? So do you understand? Okay, it is related to your method, okay, of comparison. This is why we need some reliable method, okay? It cannot be very restrictive, okay, because it will report some false non-match, okay? And it cannot be very tolerant, okay? So it will report false match, okay? So you need a method, okay, that are between these two, that it is not too tolerant and or too intolerant, okay? Is it clear? Clear? Until now, is it clear? Okay. So look at this. So which type of error is increased by relaxing the matching criterion? Okay, so here we have some matching criterion. Okay, when relaxing, what does it mean relaxing here? When we are tolerant, okay, relaxing, it means here by tolerant, okay? When we are tolerant, when we are tolerant, Okay, it means that we will relaxing or we will relax the matching criterion. So we will have the first type, okay, the false match. Okay, false match is the type of error. Okay, why? Because relaxing the matching criteria means making the matching process more tolerant of difference. Okay, so here you have more tolerance on the matching process. This increases the likelihood that biometric data from different people will be judged to be from the same person. Okay, do you understand that? Is it clear? Clear or not? I need your feedback. Clear? Okay, so you understand that when you have some system that is, no, you cannot understand. Look here. Here the question is what type of error? Okay, we have seen that we have two types of error, a false match and a false non-match. Okay, we have these two types. This is the false match, so the different peoples or different persons are judged as the same one. Here the same person is judged, okay, or are judged as the different, okay. So this is here because we have some tolerance, okay. The criterion, the matching criterion is very relaxing, is very simple, okay. So we will have some this type of errors, the false match, okay. But when we have the type, so now what is the type of error? By making the matching criteria stricter. When the matching criteria is very strict, okay? So we will have what type of error? We will have the false non-match, okay? We will have the false non-match. Okay, so making the matching criterion stricter means that the comparison is less tolerant of difference, okay? There are no tolerance about difference. This means that we are more likely to decide that samples of data from the same person are different, okay? Are from different people, okay? Okay, is it clear? Clear? Is it clear? Do you have any question right now? Okay. We saw also the false identification and the positive, so the positive and the negative identification. So the false identification here in the hetero scheme, a false match. What does it mean, a false match? This one, the false match. Okay. False match could mean that a person who was not enrolled may be allowed through. Okay, it can be allowed, okay, because it is already checked, okay, by other person, okay. In the United Arab Emirates scheme, a false non-match may mean that a person who should be stopped is allowed through. Okay, so this is here. Here we have the false match. Okay, the false match in the hetero scheme, it means that the person is not enrolled. Okay, a person that not enrolled will be allowed to enroll. Okay, but here for the United Arab Emirates, a false non-match, okay, may mean that this person who should be stopped, okay, is allowed through, because because here we see that in the in this scheme, okay, they have some database of not allowed person, okay, not allowed person here, not allowed person, okay, not allowed. So this is the negative identification. We will identify if it is not member, okay, but it will report yes, it is not member, although it is the same, okay. So this is the false non-match, okay. So here, due to this type of error, okay, a person that it is not allowed to enter, that it is should be stopped, okay, will be allowed to enter. Okay, so this is our examples of identification error, okay? The false identification or the errors of identification, okay? So we have two types. We will check if this person is a member or not, okay? And we will check, so this is the positive identification. And we will check if this person is not a member or not. This is the negative identification. Okay, so the positive identification is used in the UK. The negative identification is used in the Emirates. Okay, so the type of error that in the UK can happen, it is the false non-match, the false match. Okay, so one person that it is not okay enrolled, okay, can be be allowed to enter without enrollment, without registration, okay. And for the Emirates, okay, people that are not allowed to go, okay, will be allowed, okay. So this is these two types. Okay, so now we will talk about the false match rate, okay. Because we have some methods reliable, so we need to measure this reliability, okay, this rate, okay, of errors, okay. So the performance of biometric systems, okay, is measured by various statistics. We need to have some, okay, statistics about the performance of this biometric system, because there are some errors, okay. We know that these biometric systems can have errors, okay. It can judge the different persons as the same person, and as well as it can judge the same person as different persons, okay. So this is why we need to perform some statistics, some measurement, okay, to have, okay, about an idea about the false match rate. So on one of the statistics is the false match rate, okay. So look at this example. A false match rate is expressed as a statistic such as 1 in 1,000. What does it mean, 1 in 1,000? It means that we have one error every 1,000 comparisons, okay. So it is it is very bigger, okay, it is very big, okay. Imagine that every 1,000, okay, and there are thousands of thousands that will enter, okay, one country, okay. So here it means that we have many errors, okay, will happen. So to see that the system has a false rate of 1 in 1,000 means that if a sample of biometric data is compared with random selections of other data, then a false match occurs on average once every 1,000 comparisons, okay? So this is what does it mean? 1 in 1,000, it means that we will have, okay, one error every 1,000 comparisons. Okay, now look at this, fingerprints. So a false match rate for single fingerprints can be rounded in 1, okay, 1 in 100,000. Okay, so it is good. You will have one error every 100,000. Okay, it is better than this one. Okay, Look at this face recognition. The face recognition gives a false match rate about 1 in 1,000. So this is why the face recognition is not accepted now, is changed, is replaced in the airports, okay, by the iris recognition or by the finger prints, okay. Why? Because the face recognition allows a huge number of errors, okay. Single eye now, iris recognition gives a false rate of 1 in 1 million, okay. Every 1 million comparisons, you will have one error. So it is a very good recognition method, okay, this one. Okay, the face, no, it is not accepted because it is very tolerant, okay. This is a good one, okay. The fingerprint, okay, it is good, but in countries when there are a rate of, for example, of passengers that are in the airports more than 1 or 2 or 200,000, okay, it can be accepted, okay. But in countries where there are a huge number of travelers and passengers, so it will be the iris recognition will be the right, okay, and the good and the better choice, okay. So these rates do not allow you to predict how many false matches there will be in any single small scale test, okay. You cannot predict in a small scale test, okay. You can predict when you have a huge number of samples, okay. So with a large group, the result becomes more predictable. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear right now? So this is why we talk about the false match rate, okay, because these methods, these systems will there are some errors, okay, in identification or verification, okay. So we need to perform these measurements, okay, to test, okay, the rate, okay, the performance of this biometric system. Are you with me? Are you with me? So look at this activity. Okay, so the false match rate of a particular biometric system now is 1 in 100. Okay, so sample data is compared against 1 million. Look here. You have 1 million samples. Okay, other randomly chosen pieces of that. Approximately how many false matches can we expect? Okay, here you have a biometric system that that its false match rate is about 1 in 100, and you have samples, you have a data set, okay, or database of data that contains 1 million samples, for example, okay. So what is approximately how many false matches we can expect, okay. So this is the rule of 3, okay. So for one, you have 1 error every 100, okay. So you have X errors every 1 million, okay. So this X will be 1 multiplied by 1 million divided by 100, okay. So this is 100 X it will be equal to 1 million. So X it will be equal 1 million divided by 100. It will be equal 10,000, okay. So it is too big number, okay. It is a very big number of errors, okay. So this particular this biometric system is very tolerant. It cannot be accepted in airports, in very places, okay, where the identification of people is distinctive, okay. So we can use, okay, this biometric system in some job, okay, places, in some workplaces, okay, but we cannot accept this number of false matches, okay, at some particular places like the airports, okay. So is it clear? Clear? So look here. If a system has a false match rate of 1 in 1,000, so when used on a data set on a database of 1,000 or bigger, it is virtually certain that there will be a false positive identification with someone in the database. Okay? The false positive identification rate in this case approaches 100%, yani 1 in 1, because of the larger size of the database. And the false positive identification rate of 100% means that every time a sample is checked against an entire database, there is at least one false match somewhere in the comparisons. Okay, so it is possible for a piece of biometric data to falsely match more than one template in the database, and it is also possible for a piece of biometric data to correctly match one template and to falsely match one or more other templates. So this is the type of errors. Okay. This is okay. So we will have the false positive identification and the false negative identification. Okay, so we have see already that we have two types of identification. We have the positive identification. What does it mean, the positive identification? Positive. Do you remember what does it mean, the positive identification and the negative identification? What is the positive identification? What does it mean? The positive identification. In the positive identification, you will check what? You will check if the person is member or not. Okay? Okay. To check, yeah, good, Sadia. Whether someone is from a certain group of people. Okay, so this is the positive identification. The negative identification now, whether someone is not member of a certain group or not. Okay. So what does it mean now? False positive identification. It arises from a false match. Okay. So we see that for the positive identification, we have the error of false match. Okay. It is like the UK here system, the false match, with a template belonging to someone enrolled in a database. Okay. So you can see here, these people, okay, wishes to be identified with this group. Okay. Okay. So these people is wrongly, okay, recognized by the another person. Okay. So this is the false positive identification. Okay. So this is the type of error that can occur in the the final E will be paper-based. Yeah. Sure, you are asked to write algorithms, to perhaps what do you mean the outlook of all you build? You mean that they will give you some screenshot of the all you build? Like, I don't know any what type of questions. Once I get the information, this information, I will share it with you, okay? Till now, I don't have any idea about your final. And the type of questions, okay? But sure, you will be asked to write, okay? To write programs or to write algorithms. I think you can have the OU build, and from the OU build you can, for example, draw the flow chart, write the algorithm for this OU build. They can ask for the results. Okay, so there are many. I don't know. If they will provide you with all functions in OU build or not. Once I get this information, I will share it with you. Don't worry. If you need this, for example, functions or all this, I will, okay, I will tell you, okay. Once I have an idea about the final, I will share it with you via LMS, okay? Okay. So this is okay. So for the false negative identification now, so errors arise from failure to match the person with their own template in a database. Okay. So already this one is not allowed, for example, to enter because it is a member here. Okay. So it will be shown that it is different. Okay, and it can be okay. It will not be stopped. Okay, it can. She can enter. Okay, so this is the case of the Emirates. Okay, verification now versus the identification. So what does it mean? Verification is the confirmation that the person is who they claim to be. Okay, so it will be one-to-one comparison. For example, from your identity cards, from your passport, from your driving licenses, etc. But the identification is it is a confirmation that person is authorized or not. Okay, so this is the difference between verification and identification. Verification, I need to just to know if you are the person or not, the right person or not. Okay, but verification, but identification, I need to check, okay, if you are authorized or not. Okay. So move now to the usability and accessibility now. So usability list of principles. It will apply to all types of computer interface. For example, the interfaces to operating systems, the word processors, the calculators, and so on, not just the web interfaces. So this is the usability list of principles. Okay, you will apply to all types of computer. This is what does it mean, usability. It can be used, okay? It is not, okay, related or rely on related to subsystems, okay? No, it is used everywhere. Visibility now. Visibility, it means that it is always, you can always keep users informed about what is going on through providing appropriate feedback within reasonable time, okay? So this is the, what does it mean, visibility of system status. Match between system and the real world. So it means that you speak the user's language, okay, using words, phrases, and concepts familiar to the user rather than system-oriented terms. And you have the user control and the freedom. So it will provide ways of allowing users to easily escape from places they unexpectedly find themselves by using clearly marked emergency exits. Okay. Okay, now consistency and standards. What does it mean, consistency and standards? Here you will avoid making users wonder whether different words, situations, or actions mean the same thing. Okay, so you need to, it should be consistent, okay, clear, okay? There are some standards, okay, that we'll pursue. Help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. So use the plain language to describe the nature of the problem and suggest a way of solving. Error prevention, where possible prevent errors occurring in the first place. Recognition then rather than recall, okay? So here you will make objects, you will make actions and options visible, okay, recognized. Flexibility and efficiency of use. So it will provide accelerators, for example, keyboard shortcuts, okay, that are invisible to novice users, but allow more experienced users to carry out tasks more quickly. There are aesthetic and minimalist design, so you will avoid using information that is irrelevant or rarely needed. And you will have the help and documentation. It will provide information that can be easily searched and provides help in a set of concrete steps that can easily be followed. Okay. Accessibility now. What does it mean, accessibility? Accessible. What does it mean? This system is accessible. What does it mean? Accessible. It is related to how well a service is adapted to the diverse abilities of all potential users. Okay. You will test, okay, the accessibility, if it is accessible to all potential users or not. Okay. Some users need to be able to adjust font sizes, screen resolutions, and so on. Others may find particular combinations of foreground and background color, okay, make text hard to read. Others have a screen reader, which uses synthesized voice to read and on-screen text aloud, okay. You have some users that have a speech-driven web browser in which commands are spoken into a microphone, okay. You can have some screen reader and speech driven web browsers are example of adaptive technology and assistive technology. Okay, so you can have some, you can have the system will be accessible for all types of users. Okay, whatever the need for this user, whatever the miss يعني component that they cannot يعني deal with. Okay, so it can be accessible. Okay, so move now to this second part, okay, of this lecture. It is about the online communication. Okay, so this is all about the biometrics, the biometric systems, the false rate, the positive identification, the negative identification. Okay, all this. Okay, all about biometrics. So in this part, we will go to the online communication. Okay, so we will explore how people communicate with each other using the internet and particularly the web. We will look at some online communication tools, including those that you will probably have used for your study, the discussion forums, the web conferencing, etc. We will also spend some time looking at social networking sites such as the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the Twitter, etc. We will investigate the benefits of communicating via the web, such as the ability to share ideas, to share resources, to develop a community online, etc. So we will also consider some of the issues raised by online communications, such as the privacy and the safety. What are the issues here? Okay, related to the privacy and the safety. So finally, we will consider how online communication can provide a sense of presence for users. Okay, so let's begin now by the categories of online communications. Okay, so now you will have some online communications. In these online communications, you have two categories for that. So the first one is the asynchronous. So what does it mean, asynchronous? It is independent of time, okay? So now, imagine that some of you cannot attend this lecture, okay? But after 1 day or 2 days or after 1 month, okay? He or she will listen to the recording, okay? So this recording is an asynchronous online communication because now in this meeting we are in real time. I can ask you, you can answer to me, okay? So this is synchronous communication. But once if there are some students that cannot attend this lecture and will after some days or some hours or whatever, okay, they will listen to the recording, so it will be an asynchronous communication, okay? Is it clear, the synchronous and asynchronous? So here the asynchronous communication is when a message sent and received at different times. Okay, so there is no need for the sender and the receiver, okay, to be online at the same time. For example, give me some example of this asynchronous communication. Give me some examples. Do you know some online communication in which the receiver, yeah, good, the email. I can send you an email, okay, even if you are not online, okay, you will receive email once you get online, okay. Yeah, also the messages, okay. I can send a message via I don't know, Messenger, via Skype, via whatever this, okay, the social program, okay. And once you will get connected, okay, all these messages will be shown to you, okay. So even some synchronous communication can be a synchronous one, okay. So for the Skype, for the Messenger, whatever, or these social networking application, they can be synchronous if you are, okay, if the sender and the receiver are connected in the same time, and they can be asynchronous if you send a message, okay, and the other side is not connected, okay. So here asynchronous, we mean by asynchronous communication is when a message is sent and received at different times, so there is no need for the sender and the receiver to be online at the same time. It is like the forum. The forum is an example of asynchronous communication. You can post a message whenever you want, but the response to your message may not be immediate, okay? The synchronous communication now, it will occur in real time. When you have some communication in real time, it is called synchronous communication. So all participants must be online at the same time, and the responses tend to be almost instant. Okay, it is like this meeting. I can ask you, is it clear? Do you have any question? You can answer me, okay? Immediately, okay? So face-to-face and telephone calls communication are synchronous. This is examples of synchronous communication. When we are face-to-face, in face-to-face communication, when we are, okay, in telephone calls, okay. So if I was in a room with you and started the conversation, you would hear me what I had to say straight away, and you would be able to answer straight away. Okay, so this is why it is synchronous communication. Similarly, if I phoned you and you answered the phone, so the conversation will be synchronous. Okay. So this is the categories of online communication. So figure 1 shows an example of asynchronous, okay, communication. Why? Because he will write the letter and the receiver, okay, will receive this letter after some times, okay. But when you are speaking face to face, so this is a synchronous communication. You will listen and you will answer immediately, okay. So this is types, okay, or illustration of these online communication categories. So sometimes the distinction between synchronous and asynchronous communication is blurred, okay? Why? Because you have some systems that can be synchronous and can be asynchronous in the same time, okay? So, for example, text messaging via a mobile phone can be in both synchronous and asynchronous modes. So, if you send someone a text and their phone is on, they will be able to read it straight away. But if they are busy, if they are not connected, if their phone is off, okay, so they will pick up the messages later, okay, and this communication will be asynchronous. One way to think about the difference between asynchronous and synchronous communication is to define an asynchronous tool as one where the contributions are stored on a server so that they can be accessed at any time. Okay? In contrast with the purely synchronous communication tools, the communication are transient rather than being stored permanently. Okay? So many communication tools can be used either asynchronously or synchronously. Okay. So imagine if we have some meeting face to face. Okay. And one of you he cannot attend this face to face communication. Okay. So this communication cannot be recorded. He cannot attend. Okay. Asynchronously. Okay. So this is type of systems or communication that cannot be asynchronous. Okay, it is 100% synchronous. But in this conferencing, web conferencing meeting, for example, even if there are some people that are students that cannot attend with us, okay, so there are some recording, okay, stored on the server, so they can see this recording later. So this meeting can be synchronous with some students that join the meeting, okay, and asynchronous for students that listen to recording later, okay. So asynchronous communication tools, it can be email. So the email is an asynchronous tool that is most often used for one-to-one communication. Most email systems allow you to create mailing lists that define groups of people to whom you wish to send certain messages. For example, your tutor could create a mailing list that contains email addresses for all the members of your tutor group. For the discussion forums, okay, so it is an alternative to a mailing list is the discussion forum. Discussion forum go under different names such as online forum, web forum, internet forum, forum just forum, okay. So you must be familiar with using forums in your study. You will also find many different kinds of forums on the web with different user interfaces and different types of discussions and topics. The blogs, somewhat different from a group, okay, of communication is the blog. So the blogs allow people to share their thoughts via the web, often in a diary format, and to direct others to interesting web items, okay. Each blog now belongs to a particular person or organization. So many blogs allow reader to add comments to the post so that they can engage in a dialogue with the blogger and with other people who read the blog. Okay. The group communication now. The group communication, we have looked at the different ways in which groups of people can communicate with each other asynchronously. Okay. It is like the mailing list, the forums, the blogs, okay? So networks allow you to interact with people who you may never meet, okay? You are, for example, in this section from Medina, from Jeddah, from Riyadh, from Dammam, whatever, okay? So you are enrolled in the same WhatsApp, for example, group, or in the same mailing group, or in the same forum group. Even if you don't know each other, okay? Even if you may never meet, okay? But you can communicate, you can have some interaction. So for example, using forums, you can make contact with other students whom you may not have met face to face. This raises a debate about the benefits and the disadvantages of online versus face-to-face communities, okay? So, okay, there are some debates, okay? about these technologies, about the systems, okay? They can be benefit, okay? They can have some advantages, okay? But at the same time, there are some disadvantages that you need to be careful about it, okay? So, sharing what we create in the social web. So in recent years, the web has developed into an interactive and social space, okay? So as well as a place to find and share resources. You know that YouTube, when you have some users that share videos, that share things that you are fond of it. There are some the Pinterest, okay, which is based on the metaphor of pinboard. Okay, members can keep a record of items that they like, images, and share them with others. You have some photographs that can be geotagged with data identifying where they were taken. Okay, all these types, all these facts, okay, and acts, okay, will in fact provide tools to help bring together different kinds of data, okay? You will share this data. So these tools can be used to aggregate and manipulate data in order to present it in different ways, okay? There are many ways to present your data. You can tag, you can add, okay? You can have some mixing, okay? Whatever, okay? This representation of this data. You have, for example, some wikis, okay? So the Wikipedia, for example, launched in 2001. It is a well-known example of a wiki. So a wiki is an online server that allows multiple users to create and edit contents in web pages. You can add, you can, okay, interact. Wikipedia may be edited by anyone through users are encouraged, though users are encouraged to create a Wikipedia account for free to do so. So the name Wiki, okay, comes from the Wika shuttle bus at Honolulu International Airport, okay. It means that quick in the Hawaii language, and Wiki implies very quick, okay. So it is very quick method to share ideas, to interact, okay. Social networking now. So the ideas behind social networking site are not new, okay? Since the early days of the internet, it has been possible to do many of the things that social network site users do now. For example, the internet has enabled a communication with others through online forums, and people, okay, have been able to set up their own website to tell others about themselves, share videos, share photos, etc. However, a defining characteristics of social networking sites is the ability to construct a list of contacts or friends who are users of the same system and to follow their updates, okay? This is what is new, okay? There are some now, you can have a list of contacts or friends, okay? That will follow you, that will have some comments, that will comment on your photograph or images on your posts, okay? So for a user to become a friend requires confirmation from both parties. However, there are also one-directional ties in which one person is a follower or a fan for the other, okay? So you have the Facebook, one of the very popular social networking sites, the LinkedIn, also the Twitter, okay? The LinkedIn, as you know, it is a social network. It's a specifically set up for career-related purposes. If you need a job, if you are searching for one job, so you can create an account, a LinkedIn account, in which you will add your career, your education, your experiences, okay, etc. And this program or this network. Social networking, okay, application will show you some job, okay, some relation with the others, okay, organization that search your profile. Okay. Twitter is one of the most popular social networking sites, which was founded in 2006. So its original aim was to enable users to keep in touch with friends and family via a very simple interface. So the idea proved popular and Twitter became widely used. Okay. So Twitter is different from other forms of online communication because the emphasis is on short updates called tweets. Okay, so originally less than 140 characters, about the length of a mobile phone text message. Also, Twitter operates by users following other users in order to receive their updates as part of a stream of posting. And the term Twitter stream is used to describe the way that the short messages continue to flow. You can choose to dip into the stream at any time, either just reading the messages or adding a message yourself. Okay. So in Twitter also you can use the hashtags, okay, to keep track of topics or events which are being discussed. For example, the @Open University Twitter account labels tweets about graduation ceremonies with this, okay, symbol OU ceremonies. So it will be a hashtag, okay, about the ceremonies. The symbol is known as a hash symbol, and all hashtags must start with this symbol so that they can be easily found. Hashtags also that are being regularly tweeted also tend to appear in the trend topics when there are many number or a bigger number of tweets in this hashtag. It will be trend or topic that can be viewed via the Twitter. Now look for these for the issues with this social networking. What are the issues? Tell me. What are the issues that you can have, okay, that you can have when you are using the social networking? What kind of issues you will have? Breach, yeah, of privacy, yes, good, it can be. Okay, when you photograph anywhere and in all time, okay. So I can have, okay, your I can have يعني clear يعني look at your behavior at your time, okay. So you can be stolen, you can be there are many issues that will have to you, okay. So some users of social networking disclose sensitive personal information about themselves on their profiles, okay. So you will face the identity theft. The identity theft is a potential problem if too much information is posted online for public viewing. If you publish your birthday, your marriage day, your, for example, okay, hobbies, your educations, your career, okay. So everyone, okay, can take all this information, your photograph, can take and can create fake account, okay, with your name. So there are some identity theft here, okay. So for example, personal information such as your address, your date of birthday can be used to create a false identity, which may then be used to obtain a credit card in your name. Once criminals gain control of a person's social networking account, they can use the information for fraudulent purposes, okay? Imagine that you take a picture that you are, okay, at the beach, okay? And this beach is far from your house, about 200 kilometers, okay? So these criminals can go to your home, can steal many things from your home, okay? And they are very confident, we are very sure that you cannot, for example, come back, okay, within within 1 hour. Okay, you still have, for example, 2 hours to come back, or 3 hours. Okay, so by this, okay, by this sharing of all the informations about your home, your I don't know, your okay, your visits, okay, whatever. Okay, so you are faced these, okay, fraudulent purposes. Okay, another issue is the user thinking people they don't know actually know as a friend, or contacting people offline whom they don't know well. So this is particularly problematic given that there is no means of verifying that these people who they say they are. Okay, you can have, okay, some account, some fake account, and this person, okay, tell about, okay, about himself as he is another person. Okay, so you don't have any mean to verify if it is or not. Okay, this is particularly programmed given that there is no means of verifying that these people. So this is particular issue for young people, okay, for teenagers. Some teenagers and young adults may become addicted to social networking sites, and some ones, okay, that are fake, okay, accounts. So there are also reports of cyberbullying and trolling through social networking sites. Okay, now come back to the synchronous text-based communication tools. So the synchronous technologies have the benefit of enabling users to give or receive an immediate response. Okay, so the synchronous communication is sometimes based on text only rather than voice or video. Perhaps the simplest example is the text messaging via mobile phones. Okay, so when you are using the internet instead, you can interact with other people in real time using a chat tool. It is called the chat tool. If you use an instant messaging tool, then you can also see when your contacts are online. So you will look at the chat tools and instant messaging. However, bear in mind that the boundaries between different online communication tools are fuzzy. So different types of tool can evolve and merge their functionality over time. Okay. So this is examples of synchronous text-based communication tools: the text chat, the instant messaging, okay, and the video and web conferencing. So the text chat is a chat tool, allows users to type in messages to each other in real time. Each person's contribution appears on the other participant screens either as it is typed or when the printer press enter. So for the instant messaging, it is another variation of synchronous text-based image communication. So the main benefit that instant messaging software has over a chat tool is that it will tell you when people are connected and available for you to contact. Okay, so you define a list of contacts and the software will let you know whether these people are online. Examples of IM systems are Facebook messengers, okay, for social contexts, and in the workplace is the Skype for business. Okay, it is an IM, okay, facility. Okay. For the video and web conferencing, so as bandwidth availability increases, video communication is becoming more popular for leisure, for learning, for work. So you can have used the Skype video conferencing or FaceTime on Apple devices or Facebook Live facility for streaming real-time video. Okay, these applications run on desktop or mobile devices and make live video communication accessible to everyone. Okay, so desktop synchronous communication tools that use a combination of voice, video, and other shared facilities are called web conferencing systems. Okay, so you can share, you can use your voice, your video, other shared facilities. Okay, this is called web conferencing systems. Okay. So technology specs of video conferencing now. The technology of video conferencing is quite complex. Why? Because a major principle is to achieve a high of quality of video and audio, okay, combination as possible within the limits of the variable, of the available bandwidth, okay. So as you can see here, I can, for example, show you the share you the screen, and it is not shared for you. So this is because of some issues in the internet, okay? Or I can talk to you about this slide, and the previous slide is already shown, okay? So there are some lag, okay, or some delay, okay? So a video conferencing system connects two or more endpoints. These are the hardware devices with the required software at each end of the video conferencing communication link. So the video data from each endpoint consists of a series of frames, in fact, and a certain resolution at regular time intervals. A frame now contains data representing the color and the intensity of each pixel. Pre-processing software removes data that would not be noticeable to the human visual system in order to reduce the bandwidth requirements, and we have seen already the lossy and the lossless compression. And in desktop video conferencing, the frame rate may be 15 frames per second. In contrast, a standalone video conferencing system may operate at 30 frames per second. Okay, so now the endpoints negotiate the data rate. If the bandwidth available to one or both of the endpoints is low, they may need to agree on relatively low rate data. Okay. If a higher rate is possible, this allows for higher quality video. An example of the bandwidth requirements is Skype one-to-one video call needs about 500 kilobits per second in each direction, okay? As well as the available bandwidth affecting the quality of the communication, there is the issue of lag or delay, okay? So you have some repetition, or you have some delayed speech, okay? So if there is a significant lag, okay, between sending and receiving the audio, so the communication becomes difficult and frustrating to use, okay? This is why you need to negotiate the data rate from the beginning, okay? You need to use the same data rate, okay, to prevent or to avoid these delays and this inconvenience, okay? Telepresence also, the networking company Cisco developed a suite of high-performance video conferencing systems that is called telepresence, this one, okay? So telepresence systems feature life-size, high-resolution video together with high-quality audio, okay? So using telepresence, people can feel as if they are sitting around the table together, just as they made in a face-to-face meeting, okay? So it is a very good, okay, tool of communication. Okay, so this is the end of this lecture. In this part, we have seen how online communication can be used for a variety of purposes, using a different number of software tools and websites. And one of the key things to note is that it is an area that is constantly changing, and the boundaries between different kinds of communication tools are blurred, okay? So we saw the synchronous or real-time communication technologies can provide a strong sense of presence and awareness for others, the feeling of being there with other people. Again, there are a range of different tools for real-time communication, but some, such as the telepresence and video conferencing, require high bandwidth communication channels. So both technical factors and the human factors need to be considered when choosing what kind of communication to use for a particular purpose, okay? So if you need to use, for example, the telepresence, you need high you need to use these high resolution video, these high quality video. Okay, so you need to have these good, okay, features. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your attendance, and feel free to ask question. Yeah, this is a millisecond. Okay, do you have any question? Any question?